Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Worries on my mind, it's been a tough week. My life feels a void. There's something that I need. My supplies on the table, I grab a comfy seat. I need to craft to put my mind at ease. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in full control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting's good for the soul, it's so true. Bringing beauty into the world through. As I craft, my spirits start to climb. It's not just a pastime, it's a state of mind. It's more than just a hobby, it's a way of life. I expressed myself, everything is feeling just right. It changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting changed my life. Crafting changed my life.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Alrighty, I see we have a lot of people out there. Let's see, we've got people from Alabama, Louisiana, I see Michigan. Oh boy, and a brisk 55 degrees. Wow, in Michigan. Whoa, we could use some of that cool weather down here, I can tell you that, because it's pretty hot and stormy, and I am tuning in from Miami, Florida, so pretty hot and stormy out there today. Oh gosh, we got our friends from Canada, yay! We've got Maryland, we've got Texas. Alrighty, people from all over the place, all coming together to just talk about crafting, because it's something that we love to do. So if that's where you're at right now and you're tuning in for the first time, drop into the chat and say hello. We've got a really friendly community and we love to share all kinds of tips and tricks and just talk about all kinds of things like crafting. So if that's something you're into, you're definitely in the right place. Alrighty, Lisa says, oh, Mr. H did an awesome job yesterday. Yay, I'm blessed to have him as an amazing husband. Yay! That's great. Well, I'm glad that you guys, you know, kind of kept him in check there. And I'm glad that everything worked out. I was a little worried about that. It was the first time we ever did a premiere, so it was kind of all kind of new to us. But I totally forgot that I had a doctor's appointment. It's one of those appointments that you had scheduled for a really long time, and it finally came around, and it was for my knee. So I really wanted to go because I still have a lot of pain in my knee. So of course they did all the x-rays and everything. And I do have a tear, and so it's physical therapy for me. I need to go to rehabilitation and do that about 3 times a week for some time. And then if that doesn't work, we'll go on to stage 2. And if that doesn't work, then it'd be surgery. And I'm hoping not for the surgery. So, yeah. But knees, you know, here and there, a little better. But it's my sewing foot. So, yeah, it's also my driving foot. Hi from Australia, Roz. Hey, good morning to you. Alrighty, and we've got people from East Texas and Monroe, Georgia. Good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hey, Leslie from Lake Ridge, Virginia. Alrighty, we've also got West Virginia. Hey, Connie, good morning. Okay, we also got Jenny from San Antonio, Texas, and Barb from Central Illinois. Alrighty, so guys, it's TGI Friday, right? Yay! That's always a plus for us. Yay, we love TGI Friday. So definitely we want to thank Mr. H for, you know, keeping us all in, you know, together yesterday. And so I had totally forgot to tell you guys, and I really didn't want to cancel because I really want to keep going. Keep the memento going on the Spooky and Sweet little project that we've been working on. And if you're tuning in for the first time, what we are working on, and let me flip over to the last page because that's where you can kind of see. You've got Spooky and Sweet, where there's 2 different designs. We are doing the blocks for them, but there's 2 different designs that you can do. You can do either the wall hanging or you can do the door banner. And it's a pattern that's totally free from the Fat Quarter Shop. You can go out to their website and download the pattern. You can use your scraps from your fabric in your little craft room, or you can purchase the kit. The kit is available and the link's below. So it's perfect for Halloween, and I thought it was super cute. It's a design that came out last year, I believe. And I purchased it and was never able to do it. Well, now I'm doing it with you guys because you guys are keeping me on my toes here. Okay, so definitely you're going to want to check this out. We're having a lot of fun putting this together, and we're doing it step by step together. So it is a lot of fun, and I didn't want to lose the momentum on that because, you know, Halloween's just right around the corner. We are already in the tail end of August. So, and I've got some travels coming up in September because I'll be heading over to Virginia, and I will be going to the Sewing and Quilting Expo. So for those of you out in that area and maybe you're going to be attending, I would love to see you there. So let us know if you're going to be going. Good morning, Joyce, and welcome to You Are a Crafting Friend. Okay, so lots and lots of stuff going on today. So we're going to kind of continue where we left off yesterday. I had everything laid out the way I left it yesterday after I finished filming the premiere. And so we're just going to pick it up where we left off. Cindy Ball from our group, I believe you're here. Yes, you are. Cindy has already completed the Halloween wreath, and she put it out on our Facebook group, and it came out absolutely amazing. And I love how she got the wreath at the Dollar Tree and then put the embroidered items on it. Came out super cute. So if you're not a part of the Facebook group, go ahead and join so you can see all the projects that we put out there. It's really a lot of fun. I love to see how you guys finish projects and what you're working on, even if it's not something that we're doing right now. just put out anything that you're doing. I love to see all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Yay. Yes, you. I'm calling you out, Cindy. Yes, you're awesome. That looked amazing. I thought it was really, really great. I saw that this morning and I went ahead and liked it because I really did. It was really nice. So, okay. So let's get to it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab my little drink. I hope you guys have your drink because we're getting a little ahead of ourselves and we haven't even had our drink yet. So grab your little drink. I'm going to pour you a cup as well and a little swivel of whatever it is that you have in the morning. There's no judgment here. Just go ahead and grab your favorite drink and give yourself a little swivel. Feels great in the morning. Okay, so we've got our drinks. I hope you're in your cozy spot or at least in a safe place where you're listening. And let's go ahead and head over to our snacks. We've got, of course, our little food truck has to come out, right? So let's drag out our little food truck. There it is. And we've got all kinds of goodies on the virtual food truck. No worries. We've got anything that you want. We've got even unicorns going across because, I mean, why not? It's Friday, right? We can have unicorns if we want to, right? We've got coffee, tea, donuts, cookies, anything that you would like to eat. It's all virtual, it's all calorie free, and it's all free. Of course, we got the veggies and the carrots. You know, don't forget the carrots and kales for those who like to make their smoothies in the morning. So, yay, food truck, yes, alrighty. So, absolutely amazing. I think we are ready to go. Oh, Cindy said you only have the, oh, I missed it. I missed it somewhere about the Frankenstein. Yeah, I do have that. That was one of the free designs that came with the Designs by Juju. If you spent so much, you get a couple free designs. I do have that. If we have time, I'll try to make that one too, but I'll have to see if I can fit it in because we really need to finish the spooky and sweet one because that's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm hoping to get this done. Oh, blueberry muffins for you. Yum. Yes, Robin. And awesome. And everyone wants their coffee, their treats. Okay. I think everyone got all their snacks. So I think we are ready to go. Oh, there it is. I only have buttons to put on Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. Oh, you're way ahead of me. You're way ahead of me, Cindy. I haven't even stitched those two out yet. So, yay, it is a fun one. It is. And, you know, you can do so many different things with it. And that's just really amazing. So, lots and lots of fun. I'd love to see it when you're finished with it, Cindy. Just go ahead and post it on our Facebook page. We'll be looking out for it. Okay. So let me see, what do we have here? We've got our crafting news and we've got our project to get to. Let's see. Let me bring out, of course, this is what we have left. And this is to end week 1 of our spooky and sweet. So yeah, see why I didn't want to cancel. I really needed to kind of get on the ball because we're falling behind and we've got a lot of pieces still to put this together. So go ahead and, you know, if you want to do the wreath, if you're interested in doing the wreath that Cindy had posted on Facebook, you know, just check out the videos. We talked about that and all the different materials that you can do for those Halloween pieces. Just go ahead and check that out. And, you know, it's a fun little design. But if you're doing spooky and sweet, you're right on track. And we've got the videos prior to this where we started it off and we're doing it all step by step. Okay. Hey, Sassy, good morning to you. Alrighty. So let's do this. Let's switch over to our crafting news. And then we're going to jump right into our project because we've got so much to do there. Alrighty, let's see here. What do we have for crafting news? Well, we're going to head over to the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show. It's right around the corner and it's set to be bigger and better than ever. So go ahead and mark your calendars for September the 4th through September the 6th. at the Allen Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, the show is bringing quilters together from across the Midwest for over 20 years, and it feels like kind of walking through a little art gallery. They've got pieces ranging from modern to traditional, portraits to landscapes, and they really have something for everyone. Now, this year they're going to bring a brand new twist. They're going to do the Quilted Fashion Challenge. Ooh. Now, quilters and sewists of all levels can enter garments or accessories made from quilting fabrics and techniques. And on Saturday, September the 6th, entries will even take the stage, and they're going to have a little lighthearted fashion show. That sounds like so much fun. Really cool. Oh, Cheryl says it's awesome. You have 2 quilts in the show. Oh, awesome. We'll be rooting for you. Yay. That's awesome. You are amazing. You have to keep us updated on that, please. And guys, pictures. If you go to these events, please put pictures out there. How amazing is that? Well, good luck to you, and we'll be rooting for you. Awesome. That's amazing. See, I love this, guys. I love that everyone's from just all over the place, and we get to just find things. I'm so glad we found this story, and it's something that you have 2 quilts in. That's amazing. Okay, so let's learn a little bit more about this. So they're going to have that Quilted Fashion Challenge, right? They're going to do that little fashion show. They're also going to have over 100 workshops and lectures with quilting experts that are planned out. And of course, they're going to have tons of shopping. And you know, I love my shopping. And they're going to have that with trusted vendors and the beloved Quilt to Give project. And for where attendees there are going to join together and sew quilts for people with need. And that's just quilting with a purpose. And I think that's amazing. Also special this year, they're going to have a best-selling author. And hopefully I say her name right. The author's name is Jennifer Charvine, I believe. She's from Madison, and she's sharing her newest book in the Elm Creek Quilt series. And they're also going to have an inspiring exhibit honoring textile artist Marquetta Johnson. So that's going to be pretty cool. So tickets and class signups are now available at quiltshow.com. So check that out. And guys, that's just really amazing. Oh, Cheryl, so happy to share quilting and maybe inspire someone to try new things. Yeah, that's what we really love to do, you know. Give it a try. Don't be afraid to try new things. You just got to do it. You never know if you're really going to like it. You know, you just may love it. So don't be afraid to try new things. It's amazing. Okay. We've got another story, and I know we've got our friends from Canada here. So in Nova Scotia, Canada, we've got a woman named Jude Lee, who has turned her lifelong love of sewing into something truly special. And after 50 years of stitching, from mending zippers as a child to making Barbie clothes for pocket money, she decided to launch her own business. And in 2022, she did that, and she called it Wicca Jean Bags and Accessories. And what makes her kind of stand out is that she uses old materials to kind of give it some new life. So a lot of repurposing there. She takes high quality jeans, bits of leather, lace, beads, and even some plaid shirts, and transforms them into stylish crossbody bags, purses, bucket hats, and a ton more. And each piece is, of course, one of a kind, and it's designed with her own perfected patterns. So upcycling, it's just not a trend for her. It's just how she was raised. When she was little, she learned that she needed to reuse and repurpose things. So back then, you know, wearing a patched jean was kind of hard back in the day, but today that's a whole new style and it's celebrated. So that's really amazing. She's got one of her most touching stories, and it's about a sewing pattern that her mom gave her back in 1973, and it survived a house fire. And she recently kind of brought it back to life by stitching a frog from an old denim. And it's, you know, it's just really amazing how she can take some handmade treasures, puts a little love behind them, and then, you know, turns them into something beautiful. Oh yeah, oh yes, she does beautiful work. She does. And you can check out her work on her Facebook page. She sells her work online and at a Yarmouth farmers market. But she says it doesn't feel like work to her. She simply likes to keep her creativity alive, and that's amazing. So 2 stories, and you guys were able to relate to them. Those that are in the area, and if you ever go to those areas and you're in there at around those time frames, you can check out that little event. So that's truly amazing. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I just love how we make these connections. I think they're really, really cool. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and we are going to move forward. Yes, upcycling, in your grandma's words, being kind to the earth, repurposing item. Yay. Yeah, I just love how we make these connections. It's really, really neat. Thank you guys. Let's see. Who else do we have to? Oh, you're watching from Cleveland, Tennessee, Celia. Awesome. You love the crafting news. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with all the comments here, guys. Awesome, awesome. Yay. Alrighty, and good morning, Flo, to you. Okay, so let's move on, and we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna set these over to, actually, I'm gonna set it over to this side. I think we're good with that. And we are on Spooky and Sweet, and we are on the point that we are finishing up, or trying to finish up, the little witch hat, which is that top portion of this right here. And let me bring this over here. Okay, so we are working on this top portion right here. Okay, so we're looking at the little hat, and it doesn't matter if you're doing the door banner or if you're doing the wall hanging, it's still the same. It's the hat right here. So this is that part that we're doing. And so we kind of left off right to this part right here where we put the little hat brim together. So now we're kind of just bringing the whole thing together and adding a couple more pieces on the sides. And then we'll be done with that one block, and then we can start working on the eyes. So yay. All right, so let's do overhead, because I kind of laid everything out. So here is the last pieces here. There we are. So this is what the hat will look like once we have this all sewn together. Of course, this will kind of come together. The hat, of course, you've got your 1/4 inch seam allowances here, and then the brim, and then that's going to bring together the hat itself. And then we can start working on the bottom part, which will be the eyes and this part down here. So we're going to work our way down. So right now we still need to put together our next step, which is adding fabric F on here. We're going to go ahead and sew these 2 together, and then we're going to bring these 2 together to make one solid piece here. And once we have this solid piece here, we're going to be adding the top to it, and then we're going to add the brim on the bottom, and it should all kind of flow together into one cohesive block right here. And this is where it can kind of get a little tricky, and where this is where it's kind of the test to see, did I really do a 1/4 inch seam, right? Because if it doesn't come out to the block, then you know you're kind of off a little bit. Whoop. Uh-oh, I think we lost a little thing here. Let's see, did we lose anybody? Okay, no, we didn't. Okay, we're good. Sorry, little my screen there went a little dark for a second, but it's back. Okay, I know that the weather's not going to be so great, so hopefully it's not that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with these 2 pieces, putting these 2 pieces together. Again, this is fabric F, which is part of that gray fabric that we have here. And then we're going to kind of work it through. So let me set these over to the side here, so they're out of the way. I'm going to grab these two pieces, and let me move this here because I'm going to drag my sewing machine over, and I'll put that on top. And let's bring our trusty little machine over here. Put the little legs down. Okay. Now, I do have my iron on here and my little mini ironing board. And I'm just going to give us a quick little press just because it's looking a little sad. So I think it needs a little press here. And I like to kind of have my fabrics nice and crisp as I'm sewing. So just a small little press here, nothing major. The big piece here looks pretty good, but I'll just give a press on this one side where we're going to be sewing, just because I like to make sure that it's nice and crisp. And we'll give it another press later on, but just wanted to do that. Okay, that kind of puts that a little bit better. Let me move my little tools out of the way. Benefits of working in such a tiny little spot, right? Okay, so we've got our two pieces. Of course, they're going to be right sides together. So I will line these up and just kind of place that down here. I see a little bit of a cutting issue here. It may be some fray that I pulled out, but let me see if you guys can see this. Well, you can barely see it, but I do have, see that little bit of a nick there? It just looks like it was some fray that was pulled out. So it makes it look like this top layer is not really lined up here. I've got this tiny little piece here, but the top and bottom are fine, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and lined up. It's just going to be eaten away in the seam allowance, so we'll be good. All right, let me grab my threads here and pull them to the back. And of course, I want to line this up. And make that nice and straight. We're just doing a straight 1/4 inch seam. Let me grab my little sewing foot. Everything's kind of like not set for me here. There we go. Alrighty. And we're going to give the knee a little bit of a workout this morning, right? Because we like our sewing. So yeah, when the doctor said possibly surgery, it was kind of like a no, no, no. That's my sewing foot, lady. Like, what do you mean? So yeah, we're going to be doing some therapy there, and I'm sure it's going to be fine. So we're good. Okay, now that I've gotten this straight, and I'm just not liking where it's sitting there, I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and drop the needle. I've got my needle in the center position, and then I am holding my fabric on both ends, giving it support on the bottom where you kind of don't see it because it's kind of off the camera, but I'm towards the bottom here. That's where my fingers are. And then I'm off to the side and I'm holding and guiding this as well. So have it continue, just kind of go straight. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Of course, I've got the camera in my way, but I kind of just try to do the best I can. Just a little difficult. But when we get to the point that you need to readjust your hand, just pause, move your hand over, and then just keep going. It's not a race. You can do it as slow as you like. You know, just try to make sure that you are following it nice and straight so you can get that nice 1/4 inch seam. And then just keep going all the way down. Now, we've got our seam guide in the back holding us together to make sure we don't kind of move around this way or that way, right? We want to make sure we're nice and straight. The end is a little tricky because you're running out of fabric to hold on to. So I kind of just hold on to the very little tip that I can, keep my hand guided here, and then I've got my little magnetic seam in the back to try to help me keep straight. So we're going to keep doing that. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and lift up my needle, raise my presser foot, and we'll take a look at that 1/4 inch seam going all the way across. Okay, so we are ready to go ahead and press this. And yes, we are pressing it. We are not ironing it. We're just pressing it, right? So we're gonna lay this down and we're gonna set the seam. So lay it nice and flat. I like to kind of just run my fingers through the seam, just to press it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my iron and give it a nice little press. Okay. And then we get to open up the seam, and I'm going to be using my little clapper here, and it's going to help me open up this seam. And I'm going to kind of just bring this open here and lay it right across, and I'm going to finger press this open, starting in the middle with my fingers, work my way through the edges. And I'm going to try to keep this up on the top here, because I'm going to run my iron once I have this nice in place there. See how I have it nice and open? I'm just hold it to the sides, and you just kind of just with your hands gently just pressing that seam open with your hands, and then just grab the iron and let the heat of the iron do the work. Okay, let that heat go in there, and you may want to rock it a little bit here. Just make sure that you give that little bit of pressure so you have that heat, and it's going to lay that nice and flat. Okay, then I'm going to just kind of take it off of here, bring it over to my little ironing board, and I'm going to go ahead and press it again. Now, one thing, as you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure that your seams are kind of going the right way. So, let's see, where is that? Here it is. So on here, you've got the little arrows that show you which way your seam allowances need to go. So make sure you follow those, because that'll help you when we are assembling it together. You want to try to get your seams to lock in place. And so if you got one going one way, one going the other, it'll be easier to lock it so that you can get that seam and get that point right where you want it. When you have the seam allowances both going the same way, it makes it a little bit more difficult to kind of, not that it can't be done, you can do it, but it makes it a little more difficult to get your seam right on point, and locking it makes it a lot easier. Nancy, my machine, you can sew without a foot pedal. It has a slide speed. Oh, nice. Start and start. Yeah. Well, the SC1900 here behind me has the start and stop button. And it also has the, oh my gosh, what is the name? For your leg, the little bar that you can put on there. It has that too. I'm just not used to it. You know, I like holding my fabric, and I'm so used to the foot pedal. I'm so old school. I like the foot pedal, and I like to have my hands available holding it and just kind of starting and stopping. It's a new learning process. So yeah. Oh, you're learning to use the start stop button. Yeah, it is. It's a skill within itself. It is. It's very awkward for me because I'm so used to the foot pedal. So it's a little awkward for me, but yeah, definitely. Thank you, knee lift. Thank you, Lisa. I couldn't think of the name. Knee lift. That one also has a knee lift. This one does not. It just has the foot pedal. And it doesn't have the start button on this one. Again, this is an older machine. It's a Brother HC 1850. This was my first machine, so it's just a little workhorse. Yeah, you don't use the foot pedal anymore. You use the start stop. Yeah, you got to get used to it. You got to get used, and it's a matter of practice. And I'm just used to using the foot pedal, but yeah, things get bad. I'm really going to have to learn how to use the start stop button or use the knee lift, right? But the knee lift will probably cause me some pain too. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, for right now, I'm okay. But I may try to start using the buttons. We'll see. But for this machine, it's definitely going to have to be the foot pedal, because that's all that's available. Okay, so on the seam itself, I'm going to go ahead and leave that. We are going the right direction. So let's go ahead and press this now and make sure this will lay nice and flat. And I just kind of pick up the iron and press it and pick it up and press it. And then I'm going to grab my clapper, and the bottom edge of my clapper has that wood. And so you put that right on top. I just put a little bit of pressure, just leaning my hands on it. No, you don't have to like stand up and push it down. You just have to, just put your hands on it, and that's enough pressure on it. And just let the wood do its thing. The wood is absorbing all of the heat, and that allows your fabric to stay nice and crisp, and it will let the seam be nice and flat for you. So just let the wood do its job. Then once we have that, we'll go ahead and lift that off, and we've got our nice seam there. We've got our edges here. One thing that you can look at are your edges here. So if you have any fabric kind of hanging out on the edge, that means that probably your feet dogs have pulled the fabric, the bottom fabric. It has pulled the bottom fabric faster than the top fabric, and so it has shifted. So you may want to take that seam ripper out, start all over again, and try to make sure that you really hold on to your fabrics as it goes underneath the foot, because you want to bring that bottom fabric and the top fabric on the same point, right? And if you don't hold on to it, it can slip on you just slightly, and it only takes that slight little slip to kind of get you off target here. And you can see here, and I'll put it over here so you guys can see better. I do have my little tails I need to cut off, but whoop, wrong one. There we go. You can see here it's nice and even, and you don't have any fabric sticking out, so they're nice and flush. Okay, and so that's what you want it to kind of look like. And so we've got those two pieces together, and now we're ready to kind of put in the other side. So we've got our other piece here, and we've got to add that to the hat. So this is one where we're going to have the gray portion of this block is going to go against the green one here, and this top triangle here that we have in black is going to go with this one. So make sure you have that positioned correctly, otherwise it's going to come out like this, and that's not correct. We want it to be like that. So then go ahead and drop that here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this, make sure that I have my edges in place, and then bring that over to my machine. Let me move this over here. Was that thunder that I heard? I'm not sure if I heard thunder outside. They said it was going to be really stormy today, so I don't know. It's going to be one of those ugly days. Great day to stay in the house and sew. All right, let me line these up, make sure I am together here. A little bit, there we go. It's kind of hard because you have black on black. So it's a little difficult to see that piece, but I think we got it together really good. Okay. So underneath the sewing foot we go. Let me just grab those threads again, pull them to the back so they're out of my way. There we go. Slide this underneath, and I'm going to position this right there. Make sure that I am nice and straight on my diagonal seam tape that I have on my sewing machine. And once I am all positioned and ready to go, I've got my position of my hands, and then I'm going to slowly go ahead and drop my needle, and I'm ready to go. So we'll just go ahead and sew that. Now pause and reposition. Make sure, check your accuracy on your diagonal seam tape to make sure you're still going straight. And then go ahead and keep going. And position again. Oop, kind of got away from me a little bit, went a little too fast. So do have to slow it down. And now we're towards that tail end. So double checking here, making sure that I am straight and finishing that off. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, raise my needle and my presser foot. Let me push this off to the side. And yet again, we've got our seam allowance. There we go. And we're ready to now give it a nice press. So get my pressing tools ready. Let's go ahead and give this. We've got a lot of threads to cut off here, and I'll do that in just a second. So let's set the seam here. And when you set the seam, you can also put the clapper down if you'd like. Don't really need to, but you can. And then I'm going to go ahead and open the seam. And we're going to check our guide. Which way do we need to put the seam? The seam is going to go, yep, the seam is going out. So we're going to go ahead and do it like this. And then go ahead and just move that with your hands. Get that nice and open. Grab your iron and give it a nice press. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take it off and lay it flat, making sure my seam's still going the right way, because you want to be careful, because you can also just flip it the other way when you lay it down. You got to make sure your seam is still going out of the project, so it's going towards the outer part here. Okay, that's what you want here. And then go ahead and press, and another press here. Okay, and then go ahead and put your clapper on there and lay down your hands. Awesome. Uh-oh. Something's going on in chat, because I see Mr. H here. You're going to get in big trouble. Uh-oh. I don't know what you guys are chit-chatting about, but oh boy. Somebody may be in the doghouse. Yeah.
They started it.
They started it? I don't know about that. All right, so I'm going to take this off here, and I'm going to grab my little snips here, and I'm going to go ahead and snip off all these extra threads that I have, because I haven't been clipping them off. So let me go ahead and just do that, because they just kind of, you know, can become a little annoying.
Oh, and I saw Heather's comment in Facebook.
You saw Heather's comment on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Is that something I'm not caught up on yet? I don't know. You guys always have a riot going on. Okay, let's see. I think I grabbed as many of the long threads that I could. And this is our piece. Yay, we got our block. Isn't she cute so far? We still got to do the top and the bottom, so let's go ahead. Oh, sorry, Miss Nancy. You don't have to be sorry about anything, Jenny. Okay, we've got the top and we've got the bottom to put in. Now I'm going to line these up, and I'm looking, and what am I checking for? Well, I'm checking to make sure that I am aligned on the top here. You know, I want to make sure that this fits, and that I'm not completely like way off like here, or on this side here, right? You want to make sure you're nice and lined up, because that will tell me that I did do the 1/4 inch seam correctly, because this is going to be the block. So I'm measuring it up here, and I'm also looking at it on the bottom, and I'm checking that one as well. So it looks good to me so far. And you also want to check your measurements on the piece that we just did here, right? Sorry, I've got all these little threads. They're driving me nuts. And they're right on it. Okay. So it does tell you in the instructions that the witch hat unit should measure 9.5 by 13.5. So if I were to measure this, I've got, and I know you guys can't see it because it's down here on the bottom, but I'm just measuring from my mat here. We've got 13.5 here, which is awesome. And then the finished unit is going to be 9.5. Right now we only have, what are we at here? We're at about 6.5, because we still have to add the top and then the bottom. So let's go ahead and add the top. And then again, of course, I'm just taking it and I'm just going to flip it right sides together. And we're going to do that 1/4 inch seam going all the way across here. And this is a pretty long sew, so you can go a little wonky here. So you want to be careful that you are being really consistent as you sew all the way down, and just make sure that you're maintaining that 1/4 inch seam. And it can be tough because, you know, we get distracted. People call us, they want dinner, they want this, they want that. And, you know, something's going on the TV and you're looking away, and just that little movement of looking away, you can kind of go off on your 1/4 inch seam. So focus, people, focus. We're going to get there, right? Okay, let's move this over. I'm going to put that bottom brim area here on the side. And this is where you can pin it if you want to. And if it makes it a little bit easier for you, you can go ahead and pin them in place, if that helps, especially when it's kind of long like this, you know. So you know what, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab a couple pins. You don't need much, just like 1 or 2 pins to pin it on here, and just so that it doesn't move around on you. So I'm going to go ahead and line this here. I'm going to line up the front, I'm going to line up the back, and then just kind of pull on it, and it should line up nicely here. Make sure that your middle is right on the edge. And then I'm just going to grab some pins, and I'm going to kind of mostly focus on the middle piece, because that's where I will tend to kind of go off a little bit, right? That can happen. And let me see, I may want to adjust just a slight more, because I'm seeing that bottom peeking out and it shouldn't be. So there we are. I think that's good. I'm going to raise that a little bit. Okay, now I can go back and pin it. Pin that in place, and then I'm just going to pin one towards the back. And let me just, whoops, dropped my little pin there. Okay, this one's too short. Let's go with this one. Okay. Alrighty, and so I'm just pinning it to hold that in place. Nothing special, just, you know, so it doesn't move around on me. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to my machine. So let me drag this over here. And I think I need to tape, change my diagonal seam tape. I think it's kind of worn out already. So may have to change that. I may do that tomorrow. And so I'll go ahead and line this up. Put down my foot, put down my needle. Again, need to find my little petal there. And you may want to kind of just hold on to your fabric. And you know what? I'm not liking how this bottom part is. Let me just do a quick adjustment on the bottom, because I needed to kind of move it up a little bit. Wasn't a fan of the way it was looking. I think it kind of shifted on me, but let me just double check. It's always good to double check it. You want to check the back as well as the front. just to make sure that it's in line. I mean, you can always trim it. It's not too bad, but you want to kind of keep that shape. Okay, looking better now. So let's go ahead and bring this back down, line this up, and then I'm kind of holding the back of the fabric between my fingers and my thumb. See, so you kind of do the L shape. I have the bottom of my thumb on the bottom of the fabric, and then the top fabric, I'm just holding it with my hands. And I just kind of hold it like this as it's going through the machine. And that's another support that you can kind of give it as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and now drop that needle again. And let's go ahead and start sewing here. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I have a hard time seeing with the camera, so it's a little difficult for me. Okay, now when I get closer to the pin, I'm just going to keep my eye here, making sure that I'm going to remove my pins. There's people that go over their pins. I don't like to go over my pins with my machine, but there's some people that do. And then we'll go ahead and continue to sew. You need to always remember to slow down. I'm one of those speed sewers. I have that heavy foot. And just keep readjusting your hands as you go. We're getting close to that second pin. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove it. I think it kind of slipped on me a little bit, but we'll see. Here we go, towards that very, very end. There we are. Okay. So let's check out how we did here. We've got that 1/4 inch seam going all the way across. Pretty good, pretty good. And whoop, we've got some thread here. Oh, it looks like some thread got caught there, but we're good. Okay, it's looking good to me. That looks like a nice solid 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to move my machine over. And once again, get out that pressing table. I mean, this is why it's when we get to our new craft room, I like to have the pressing station next to me because you're constantly pressing and sewing, pressing and sewing. And a lot of people will skip the pressing because, you know, they're in such a small space and, you know, you can't kind of press. And so you'll just keep sewing. Oh, I don't need to really press it. I'll just keep sewing. And really, you end up regretting that at the end because it really does make a difference. So you really want to be careful with that. And let's see here. Oh, you know what happened here? Because I was feeling something weird. Let me show you this. And this does happen, guys. So, grab that thread out the way. Here's my seam. We pressed the seam to the outside. You guys see that? Look what happened here. My seam got caught up and flipped, and I ran over it and sewed it this way. So now, instead of going, it's going to the outside, but it kind of shifted a little bit. So it's got that little bit of a bulk now. Not liking that. Do not like that. So I may just kind of pick this out and just sew just this tiny little area right here. And it was right where the seams meet. So I didn't really pay attention, and I probably didn't press down hard enough with my hands, and the seam tried to flip on me. And so this is what can happen, guys. So we got to be careful with those seams. So I'm just going to grab my seam ripper real quick. I'm going to unpick that because I don't like that. I don't want such a bulky seam because there is another layer that we need to add to this. So I don't want to add that additional bulk. So I'm just going to unpick that. It's only like 2-3 stitches that you need to unpick just so that you can flip it back over. And I want my seam to lay nice and flat. course, I'm having a little hard time seeing here. There we go. There we go. Now we've picked it out. And so you can see here. You just snipped it and let it lay that way, Robin. Yeah, it's going to bug me. I know it will. So I'll just leave it. And so here it is. And you see how this other piece, oh, did I miss a stitch? Hold on. Missed a stitch here. Let me undo that one. There it is. And so now it's going to lay flat this way. So I'm just going to do 2-3 stitches right here. Pick up where I left off and just make sure that that seam stays nice and flat. Okay, so let me just do that real quick. And this is because we are sewing, and I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed. Some people, for them, it's different, but it's because of the way we're laying the fabric. The seam we pressed out, and yet we are sewing against where the way the seam is going. So it can, you know, kind of flip on you as you're sewing on the machine. But you gotta have to kind of keep conscious of how your seams are set, and, you know, just kind of hold it down so that it doesn't flip over as you're gliding through the machine. So as we glide through here, our seam here is towards the outside, but we are pushing it through the other side. So it can easily just flip on you, which is what it did. So you just got to keep your eye on that. And so I'm just going to put it right back over. It's right here in this area. And so I just have to make sure that I line this back up. And I've got my seam nice and flat now. Let me just bring this a little closer to me so I can see. And let's see, I want to line this up. Make sure I get it right on that spot. And that can be a little tricky, but it can be done. And then just put that needle down, and that looks perfect right there. And I'm just going to do a couple stitches just to kind of put that back in place. There we go. And that's it. That's all it takes. And that's just because, you know, I'm a little picky that way. And so now our seam will lay nice and flat. Okay, so let me go ahead and quickly come here. Let me grab my threads because I know we're running low on time here. But I am determined that we're going to finish at least the witch hat today. And I'm going to go ahead and press this down. Set your seam. And then we're going to come over and we're going to grab our clapper, and I'm going to open up this seam. It's a pretty long seam, so we've got to really try to open that up. Okay, and then go ahead and add the heat to it. Let the heat get in between those threads and really flatten out that seam there. Okay, so while I am flattening out this seam, why don't we go ahead and go to our inspirational quote of the day. So let's go ahead and do that. So here's our inspirational quote of the day for you guys now. It is, the most meaningful projects are those that take time, attention, and gentle persistence to complete. So keep at it, guys. And that's exactly what we're doing, right? We're going to keep at this little spooky and sweet pattern, and we're going to finish it up. So we're going to try to finish up this block. And I'm going to go ahead and get this going. So I will finish up this block tonight. Sorry, I'm having a little tickle in my throat here. And so I'll go ahead and put the brim onto the bottom of the hat here. So we'll have one full piece tomorrow to look at, and then we can start on the next section, which will basically be the little eyes and getting onto that bottom portion. So you've got some homework for you. Go ahead and finish up this block, get this nice and pressed and done, and then we're going to go ahead and move to the next step tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry, Monday, because today's Friday, right? Gosh, time flies. Time really flies. Okay. Well, guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. It is Friday. I hope you enjoy time with family and friends. Try to finish up your block to this point, and then we're going to pick it up on Monday. So it'll be lots of fun. For those of you who are watching on the replay, I really appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. I hope that you can add all of your projects that you're working on, whether you're working on the witch here, or if you are just working on something else. Post it on Facebook because we want to see what you guys are doing. And we love to kind of support each other. So go ahead and have a great weekend. Spend it with family and friends because that's what's most important. And I hope you have a fantastic time. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.